Rishi Sunak has been rocked by a double resignation this week. James Heappey has confirmed his resignation as Armed Forces Minister, and Robert Halfon has resigned as Skills, Apprenticeships and Higher Education Minister. The pair are the 62nd and 63rd Conservative MPs, respectively, to have announced they are resigning at the general election. Separately, the British Prime Minister is facing another by-election after Scott Benton resigned as an MP after a common sleaze watchdog found that he had committed an extremely serious breach of parliamentary rules. Well, for more on this, I was earlier joined in the studio by our Downing Street correspondent, Simon Pusey. Simon, quite a week, shorter week, of course, because of the Easter bank holiday weekend. Apart from, of course, those two resignations, James Heappey, Armed Forces Minister, quite a big one. Does this reflect the mood music in the party?
Yeah, I think this is just a continuation of what we've been seeing for the last few months, really, which is Conservative MPs looking at their positions, looking at the margins, looking at the likelihood that they're going to lose their jobs at the election and trying to sort of sort something out for the future, I guess. They want to be ahead of the curve for when there's lots of Conservative MPs looking for consultancy jobs. So we've got Robert Halfon, the Armed Forces Minister, who's stepped down, James Heappey. They've both announced that they're quitting. They're both quite senior ministers, and so there's been a bit of a reshuffle there. Ministers also who declare that they want to stand down. They don't need to leave immediately, but prime ministers like Rishi Sunak generally want to have people in place for a next general election, as opposed to a general election's coming up and you've got a whole load of people who won't be there. So they'll probably stand down fairly soon. And Rishi Sunak's carried out a little mini reshuffle. So you've got Nusgani, who's gone to the Foreign Office, and Leo Doherty returns to the Ministry of Defence. So a few sort of little changes here.
Junior ministers.
But yeah, exactly. But then we must say that 60 MPs, more than 60 MPs now, Conservative MPs, say they're going to stand down at the next election.
60.
So yeah, and I mean, that does just show, doesn't it? You know, we've got obviously all the polling out every week that show how far behind the Tories are. Another by-election coming up as well, Scott Benton quitting after he was caught in a Times newspaper sting. Interestingly, MPs can't actually resign immediately. This is just part of the kind of tradition of UK politics, isn't it? And there's so many of these things. They instead have to write to the Chancellor of the Exchequer asking to be appointed to the Treasury-led position of Steward and Bailiff of the Chiltern Hundreds, which disqualifies them from the Commons. So that's just a little sort of antiquated thing. No worries. But yeah, it just, you know, there's just a continuation of Conservative MPs saying, oh, I want to spend more time with my family. Oh, this isn't for me, and it just adds to...
And it's quite a toxic environment. That's kind of been like the mood music as well. The fact that, you know, they're sick and tired of being abused on their way to work and in the chambers too. Yeah,
I mean, that's something that obviously goes across Parliament, doesn't it? And you get everyone being attacked from Labour to Lib Dem as well. But yeah, I think it is quite toxic in the House of Commons. I guess that's a sort of slightly different debate, but yeah, it does just show that the Conservative Party, the Tory Party, is not in a good place, and they're not thinking that, you know, they're going to be in their jobs after the election. And so this is yet two more people, and I think we'll probably see many more to go, sadly, for Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Party. I'm not sure there's much that they can do to change that unless there's suddenly growth, economic growth, or amazing economic figures, which seems to be what him and the Chancellor are looking for, is some kind of magic, you know, number that comes out, or some kind of massive boost to the economy, and it's hard to see where that's going to come from.
Yes, it is difficult to see. Happy Easter, Simon.
Thank you, you too.
Now to my final topic. Africa's leading video streaming platform, StarNews Mobile, and the Global Black Economic Forum have announced a call for applications for the launch of their business competition. Held in partnership with MTN and USAID, the initiative will empower Nigeria's most promising businesses that are classified as small to medium-sized enterprises. Well, for more on this, I'm now being joined by Guy Kamgyang, who is the founder and CEO at StarNews Mobile. Guy is joining me from Los Angeles. Guy Kamgyang, it's a pleasure having you on Channels Business Global. You're a very busy man, so thank you for taking time out. Please talk to us about the competition and why your platform, StarNews Mobile, decided to partner with the Global Black Economic Forum.
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on this program. So the idea behind the competition is, at Star News, we really try to empower creators in Africa. And when we say creators, it's in a very large sense. We view creators, whether it's content creators, influencers, comedians, and so on and so forth, digital personalities, as small businesses. because as you know, in Africa, these creators are actually feeding families and communities and stuff like that. And this is somewhat, in our opinion, a bit unfair that they don't get recognized for their contribution to the country's GDPs. So the way we tend to look at the creator economy is anybody who's able to create content and wants to monetize it in one way or another is a creator. So we then group all small businesses in that under that umbrella. And this competition, really the idea behind it is so first is twofold. Continue on our mission to create financial life-changing opportunities for creators and small businesses. So this competition has a purpose of exposing those small businesses to opportunities for mentorship, investment, partnerships with U.S. companies. We really see that as value add for small businesses, and obviously financial because there's a significant price that the best businesses will win in order to help them in their growth. Now,
Yeah,
the partnership with GBEF was started about a year ago. GBEF is part of the Essence group of companies. And the Global Black Economics Forum is really a platform to provide economic opportunities for Black people in general. Obviously, Black people in Africa, and Nigeria is Africa. Especially Nigerians will love to hear that. But obviously, Nigeria is a leading force in among African countries. So it was important to bring GBEF into this adventure because GBEF is actively seeking opportunities to support Black businesses around the world. And they're very powerful organization here in the US from an economic and political standpoint. So by partnering with them, we really believe our mission of helping and empowering businesses in Nigeria can be fulfilled. And I should also add that Prosper Africa is also supporting us in this initiative with the business competition. So Prosper Africa being an initiative by the U.S. government to also empower businesses and empower trade and partnerships with businesses in Africa. So the idea of this competition is really bringing all the tools necessary for small SMEs in Nigeria to take their businesses to the next level. We've created a platform through which content creators can not only express themselves and access the entire world because we're a global platform, but can also monetize and make money from it.
yeah.
And oftentimes creators are being underpaid by digital. We're changing that, right? So now we're helping creators make money that will help them make better content, tell better stories, and be able to really export themselves when first dominate in their local economies by being comfortable, but also export themselves faster. So, we hope through StarNews, you're going to have Afrobeat would explode, Nollywood would explode, African food will be even more accessible around the world and known, and so on and
Absolutely.
so forth. So that's really the idea.
Yeah, well, it's a great idea. Of course it is. You've been doing it successfully for 8 years, and the numbers are continuing to climb. We support Netflix. We support all of the other streaming platforms. Why can we not support our own? Anybody interested, of course, in watching how the competition plays out, it will be streamed, I believe, next month on the StarNews platform. But really insightful speaking to you. Finally, Guy Kamgang, who is the founder and CEO at StarNews Mobile. Thank you so much for taking your time out to talk to us today.
It was mine. Thank you so much.
Well, sadly, that's all we have time for today. But as always, do get in touch with your comments and suggestions. I'll see you at the same time next week for more in-depth business analysis on Channels Business Global. Have a lovely Easter.